Hey, welcome, Friday with Friends, Fan Friday. I just wanted to pop in because I saw you were working on a couple really cool projects and I want to show you what I'm working on back there. I kept telling you guys I was going to make my own fabric. Well, I'm going to. Well, it's for like one project, but I showed you photos a little while ago about me sewing back and forth across yarn and then wash away the stabilizer and it all turned out fine. Yeah, very cool. So it's turning out pretty cool so far. So I'm going to show you how I put it in the hoop. For those of you that want to do this, it's an in the hoop project, or you could sew it. Either way. So pop in, say hi, say hey Linda, how are you? Let's see. I was scrolling through the group and you guys have left some really funny things, but there's a video from last week that I don't remember who originally posted it, but I mean, the guys had like 1 million hits, and there's a reason, because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. So let me just roll this up here. Hey, Sharon, Susan, Priscilla, nice to see you guys. All right, where is it? If you haven't seen this, just be warned that you should not drink coffee or be drinking or eating anything when it starts. I mean, I've watched it like 5 times. I couldn't help it. It's hilarious. Okay, so here you go. Hi, Mary Helen. Hi, Sharon. Great to see you guys. Yvette, Cynthia. All right, so this guy. So he's a comedian, Brandon Ferris. He definitely needs help from the Wolfpack for sewing. So the video's on my page. I have it on my personal page. You guys, I think everybody in the world has shared it. Let's see. Oh, no, he's at 2 million hits. So he increased 1 million hits since last evening. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And of course, he is a comedian, so it's funny. But it's even funnier because things that we think of for sewing are like so simple, like the bobbin, the buttons on the side. It's absolutely hilarious. So if you get a chance, you have to go see it, because I think it'll give you a good laugh for the day. It's definitely a Good Friday laugh. All right, so what else did I have to tell you today? I want to show you what I'm working on. The contest is up. So the link is, let's see if I can find the link for you. I posted it on the page today. So it's the contest where I'm giving away three people get a 1 month free to the club. So the Fashion Sewing Club. So good luck. And let's see, what else was there? I'm doing a drawing for a 1-year membership, but those are people, I'm drawing that on like March 11th or 12th. I have it on a calendar. I'll keep you posted on that. But that goes to somebody in the group. So if you sign up for the group, regardless if it's a month or for an annual, one person is going to be gifted an extra year to their membership. So that'll be coming up in March. But all right, you guys, you want to see what's going on? Oh, Gail says, I saw it, but I better go watch. Yeah, it's just hilarious. How's sign up going? It's going awesome, Leslie. So you guys signed up so fast for the new club. I would thank you, by the way. I think it's going to be fantastic. Our first live Q&A is on Tuesday. I felt kind of bad. I didn't give you a lot of information on Wednesday because I did it on Saturday in the group, but then I realized a lot of you aren't in the group or aren't in the Angela Wolf Patterns group, which is free. You can join. But Wednesday was kind of one of those days where I just wasn't all together between Wynn's mom passing away, that night, the night before, or in the middle of the night, I should say. And when you get a phone call like that, you don't really get back into your groove for the whole day. But we plugged away. We made it. So a couple things about that. I know I'm going to see quite a few of you in Atlanta, but my plans might be changing just a wee bit. I was going to be teaching there on Friday and Saturday. And I'm working with Chris, which, if you've never worked with the people at Original Sewing and Quilt Expo, they are great people to work with. I've been doing quite a few of their shows. Atlanta was the one I was looking so forward to, and I'm still going. But my Saturday classes might have to be either transferred to Friday or Thursday. Saturday might be out because it's that's the day of Wynn's mom's funeral, and I really don't want to miss that. So I'm trying to figure out how to be in 2 places at one time, but unfortunately, I think I might have to bag on the Saturday, and there's not much I can do about that. So if you're in one of my Saturday classes, message me, because we're trying to come up with ulterior solutions. A couple of the classes I'm teaching on Saturday I'm also teaching the same ones on Friday. So if they can come on Friday, then problem solved, right? But the embellishing class, that's in the morning. I tried everything to find flights. So trust me, I tried my best. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes life takes you different directions. So at least I'm not going to miss my Friday night fashion show in Puyallup, right? So you got to take the good with the bad. So anyways, oh, thanks, you guys. You guys are the best. So, you know, we always laugh. I laugh with my sisters and stuff about this. I have friends that they're like, oh my gosh, my mother-in-law. But I have to say, I was really blessed with a great mother-in-law. So she's a good lady. All right. So enough about that. Anyways, if you're going to the Atlanta event on Saturday, message me because I probably won't be there. All right, you guys, you want to see what I'm working? Oh, thanks, Yvette. Yeah, you know, sometimes you get so wrapped up in work. Well, I'm always wrapped up in work, but I love what I do. So, but it's still work. So this was one of those things when I first saw the date, I was like, well, I can't go. And then like you sit down and you think about it and you go, seriously, Ange, you're going to miss your mother-in-law's funeral? That's pathetic. That's how my little right brain talks to the left brain. So it was about a 4-second conversation. That was about it. So I knew the wolf pack would help me out here. But I know many of you have wanted to see me in Atlanta, and I'm sorry that I'll miss you on Saturday. But I will be there on Friday, and there is a fashion show on Friday. And I might change my flights and go in early and show up Thursday and Friday then instead of Friday, Saturday. So, all right, you guys. Come on. Hey, Steve, how are you? Wait a minute. My brother's on here. Aren't you working? So, all right, Steve, I got a project for your kids. Let me show you what I'm working on. So what I have here, and I'm going to bring this over here. So just follow along, you guys, without getting seasick. Okay. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. Let's see how this goes. I've got my one chair from Horn here that goes way up and way down. So you got me. All right, here we go. So on the floor, if you look closely, here we go. I have these two things of yarn. This is that yarn I was telling you about. It's like kind of thicker, very, very soft. Now this is what I want to make enough to make a sweater for. But at this point, it's going to be a scarf for a blog post for brother for St. Patrick's Day. So this isn't like the bright green for St. Patrick's Day. So by the way, I look terrible in that bright green, but this one is a little bit more my color, so I probably would wear it. I also grabbed some of this hairy stuff, yarn, for the project. So this is the easiest project, and I've been showing you a couple like tricks on it, but this time I got everything rolled out and I had to go buy some new yarn. So thanks for waiting. Okay, so what I have here, you can see it's already stitched one entire section. So this has filled the entire hoop. You see that? This is water topper stabilizer, which we'll just rip off. I've already finished stitching this one. That's why I went live right now before I got the other one ready. So this just pulls off. Kind of like plastic, but it's water soluble. And notice that after I put all the yarn in, which I'm going to show you how I did that, I have 2 strands sticking out because I didn't want to have raw edges. So there's those. And then that is what my screen looks like. So I'm going to click OK. That's what it looks like. So let me see if I can block out some of the shine so you can see this a little closer. You got it? All right, so I'm going to save this design to the machine. And I'm just going to put this on here. All right. Can you see that okay, you guys? Give me like a thumbs up or say yay, yay, something like that. The red is a little bit hard to see, and I'm trying to block the lighting, but okay. So if I go to the home screen, how I got this on here, and you can embroider on an entire hooped area, which is really cool. So bring you down here. There you go. Click on My Design Center. If you don't have this, you could do this with the sewing machine, but I'm just showing you if you have My Design Center. Click on the shapes icon, which is right here. Click up here That tells you, you decide what size hoop you're using. I'm using this one because I'm going to fill the entire hoop for yarn. For a scarf. Click OK. And notice that the red line comes up. I'll pick a different color this time. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. And then I go into here, and I could either pick just regular stippling or something else. I'm going to pick something else. I went through all of these, and I just thought that this would look kind of cool, and it would hold the entire scarf together. Oops, wrong button. I had to do the fill. And there, it filled the entire hoop area. If I didn't have the hoop chosen, it would have filled the whole background. Or if you had a shape or something like that. So, okay, so that's one thing I have to do. The next thing you want to do is when you go to embroidery, I click set. And when I click on embroider, you have to put the basting box around it, which is right there. That puts a box around which will hold my stabilizer in place when I go to stitch. All right, so let me show you how I did this hooping. Okay, I'm moving really slow so you guys don't get seasick, but now you're on stable ground, all right? So here is, let's see if I can, there you go. Is that good enough? Good enough, that's the word for the day. So I've already cut this out. This is water-soluble stabilizer. And by the way, I will have this available on my website as soon as I get back from Puyallup. So this, I love this stuff. It feels like fabric. And then we have water topper. And this I will also be carrying in a lot of different sizes because I love this stuff. I'm going to use it to make fabric, so I need a lot of it. And then I also pulled this out. This is for that you put on the hoop to see how much room you have. So let me take this off. Now my hoop is so sticky right now, I need to go clean it, but that's not happening before the live show. So, all right, can you see that okay? There you go. Okay. This looks like a bunch of spaghetti. Steve, I told you this would be fun for your kids. So you can see all the stitching. I'm using regular thread. Now, just standard thread. You could use embroidery thread, something like that. You can see there are little edges that stick out a little bit. I don't care about that because I'm either going to cut it off or just leave it hanging loose. The idea, though, is that my stitching goes up and down, holding everything together. Okay, so let's pop this out. And I still have my 2 strands so I can continue on my hoop. You guys, ask any questions if you want as I'm doing this, but okay, so this is going to go to this end. See how big I can make this table. All right, make sure my yarn is out of the way. I'm going to lay this stabilizer below. So I'm going to be hooping. This is the water stabilizer, water soluble. And why did I know that this was going to, hold on a second. I need more table room. So this has to go in the middle and over. And I'll show you why. If I would quit running it over with my chair, oh my word. And I was making fun of the guy that couldn't use the sewing machine, right? This is ridiculous. Okay, now this is through the hoop. Do you see that? There we go, through the hoop. And I have the stabilizer on the bottom, and this is the stabilizer that I just embroidered. So this is where I can either overlay these where they cross over each other a little bit. You just don't want a gap between this and the next section of embroidery, which is why I brought this out. So I can lay this on the hoop and I know exactly where my embroidery is going to start. So can you see that okay? On here, it shows you the grid. And I know that that's exactly where that's going to start. So what I'm going to do is line up the fabric underneath to match that. So putting you back down because I don't have 4 hands, although I try sometimes. All right, you got it? Okay, so I'm going to just line this up. Now, I could use tape to line this up. See how I'm lining up these lines with my grid here? Yeah, that's pretty close. Does it have to be perfect? Heck no, nobody's even going to notice all this stitching, but it needs to be close. There's a time for perfectionism and a time to just make it work. Just make it work. All right, so I'm sliding my hoop. Oh, man, that sucker's pretty tight. All right, here we go. Once I get that in there, I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'll give you one more close-up. If you guys have questions, just leave your questions. I'll go back and answer them. Okay, can you see, without a glare, how this is my purple line from my grid? That's where my stitching is going to go, and that's where the stitching is from the previous. I need it to cross over just a little bit in case of any errors. You don't want to have a gap. So here we go again. Try this one more time. Okay, just a little closer. I know, I can see you ask a question about this yarn. This yarn is actually free. See? You'll see that in just a minute. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Now, there definitely won't be a gap. Make sure your hoop is down, nice and tight. Sides are pretty close to being even. Ah, no. All right, take 3. And you thought I was perfect at this, right? Yeah, not so much. So what I'm doing is I'm moving it over just a little bit. Here's another look. Just sliding this over just a smidge. Catching it up. That looks way better. Okay, I'm happy now. Tightening. I know, I could use the bigger hoop. I'm using this one because it's going to be a scarf. So, I mean, that's pretty good. It could also be a collar, a pocket. Now, when I design my fabric for this that I want to make something with, like for a whole outfit, I'm going to use the bigger hoop. But for this, I just wanted to test it, make sure it works before I waste a bunch of stabilizer. All right, so I can take this off now. So give me the hearts if you like this, because this is kind of it's a fun project. And as I mentioned, if you don't have an embroidery hoop, it's not the end of the world, or an embroidery machine. You could do this by sewing as well. It just takes you forever and ever. All right, so now this does not really take a science to this part. You just kind of wrap it around. Now, for those of you that want to do something really fun, this is what I'm doing on my next project, where I make exact lines. Wouldn't that be fun? And then embroider over it. It would actually look like real fabric. But I'm not doing that this time. Just giving you more ideas, you know. Okay, so you're just going to wrap. If I could get the yarn off of my chair, we would be doing much better here. Let's keep going like this. The one thing you want to make sure is don't have a whole bunch over here like this, because the stitching might not catch all of that and it'll fall off. You really want it to kind of glide back and forth. I'm going to cross over that top section just a little bit so it looks like there isn't a gap. And sprinkle just a little bit of hair stuff. This is kind of like, I think, what people do when they cook, right? Decorating cakes. Well, we're decorating fabric. How thick can it go? It really doesn't matter. Just try to keep it consistent. So here's a little trick that I found. Not that there's a trick to this. It kind of is just a do whatever you want to. But after you do a few rows, spread them out a little bit, then squish these together. Okay, more. By the way, if you're looking for this yarn, I found it at Michael's today on clearance. So if you have a Michael's Crafts near you, They're clearancing all of this yarn. Well, this really soft stuff. It was like $4 instead of 10. And there's also a 40% off coupon. And Michael's takes Joann's coupons, and Joann's has a 50% off. So if you find one at regular price, at least it gives you a little break. Okay. Are you getting the idea? Just keep going through here. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch all this because this could take all day. Not really, but it took me about 15 minutes. Because then when I'm finished, I go back and look and make sure that there aren't any openings, stuff like that. When I'm all finished, I'll take this water-soluble topper, lay it on the top, and then I hold this in place while the basting stitch goes around everything. And then it stitches. Then you can just walk away. The one thing, you could use medical tape on the sides, which is what I would normally use, but all my medical tape was used on my finger last week, and I didn't go buy some more, so no medical tape for me. So, all right, let me, I feel like I'm in the middle of mini chair. Hold on. Okay. Did you get the idea on that? So I gave you the whole tutorial. If you popped in late, just go back when we're finished with the video and start at the beginning, and I'll show you how I used on the luminaire. Now on the Dream Machine, the buttons are in just a little bit smaller spot, but it's basically the same thing. You're filling your hoop with one design, filling it with yarn, and then keep moving on. Very simple. So what are your thoughts on that? Lita says, don't tell me that. I told myself no more yarn until I finished a few projects. But Lita, there's other colors and other textures that you might need. I know. Hi, Cindy. Great to see you. Thanks, Yvette. This is awesome. Yeah, Mary, great to see you. And if you guys want to learn this, just watch it from the beginning. Ribbon and trellis yarn works good for that project, too. I agree, Janice. So, Janice, thanks for the laugh today. Janice wanted to know about what time we were going live today because I don't always go live on Friday, but lately I've been getting ready for shows, and I'm here, and I might as well show you what I'm working on. And she said she'd been in a U-Haul for how many hours, Janice? A long time. So I'm glad that I could pop in and you could join. Okay, Susie says, stipple very close if doing free motion. Machine embroidery is much easier. I agree. And you know what? Yes, you could do free motion on there too. That's a great idea. You would need some form of a hoop though, because you can't just have that. I mean, that could be a hot mess. If you had a hoop, at least to hold it firm. Well, I don't know. You might be really good at this. When I did it, I sewed back and forth and back and forth. And the reason I thought of this episode today was because that guy in the video where he was like, this is so easy, and he's drinking his monster drink, I'm drinking my tea. When I was sewing back and forth for my scarves, I would literally pin those pieces together with big quilting pins, and I would just sew. And I'd sit back here with the green button. I wouldn't even use the foot pedal, and I would sip my tea and let it go. This was even, I think, before they had the laser light. Oh, maybe the laser light was there. I don't know. I really didn't care if the lines were that straight, but I am a perfectionist at that. So what I did is I lined up the edge of my foot. So you know how many rows there were that were this big? It took a long time. This was much easier. It is fun. All right, so Celeste wants to know, since I don't have an embroidery machine, I will hoop it and then use my regular machine. Or are you using regular embroidery hoops? I remember doing this a number of years ago. Okay, so Celeste, you can do this without an embroidery hoop. If you're going to do free motion embroidery, then I would suggest using an embroidery hoop or having some way to stabilize everything together. But if you're using this without a hoop, do exactly, I think, let me see if I can find the blog post for you. If you're in the fashion sewing group, it's one of the videos are in there showing you how I did it with the sewing machine. So it's listed as yarn fabric or something. So if you're in the fashion sewing group, in case you were like one of the first people in the first few hours, I've added quite a few more videos on the left-hand side. And you can open each section and see what it's listed as. And our first live Q&A is on Tuesday, which I'm very excited for. So you have to sign up for the Q&A. It doesn't just show up on the page. There's a link there for, I think, the next 2 or 3. All you have to do is go in, log in, sign up for that, and then you'll get an email reminder. And if you don't make it live, you'll get an email reminder of when it's like to watch the rerun, or if you want to leave a question. All right, so let me see if I can find the photo here to help you out there, Celeste. Here we go. Okay, here's my page. Bring myself up here. Okay, this was, you guys might remember this. This was one of my fringe skirts, and I grabbed all the stuff, the yarn inside. So this is very similar to what I'm doing, except what I'm doing now is so much easier and faster. So there's the yarn, there's the stabilizers, and I used, do you see these really big quilting pins? I used really big quilting pins, and I actually pinned through the layers of the water soluble on the bottom and the water soluble on the top. So that, and it worked. I mean, it worked fine. And then you can see I stitched rows and rows and rows. So this is kind of funny. I wasn't kidding. How did I remember that I lined up the edge of my foot? Now, do you realize how close those lines are? Now you know, while I was like, oh my gosh, this took forever, and I was drinking tea. This one was kind of a loose weave scarf. I have no idea what happened to these. They're in one of my bins from when I moved, so I have to make more so I can teach them in class, right? Okay, I think that's, see if I can make the photo just a little bit smaller. Oh, goodness gracious. Nope, it's not going smaller. So did you get the idea, though? And then you stitch there, and then you stitch. Here we go. Now it's back. First you do rows this way, then you do rows this way. This one, my second scarf, you can see I was bored out of my mind, so the stitches are a little bit further apart, but it still does the same effect. This is what it looks like. And then I cut all the way around the edges and then threw it through the wash. Well, rinsed it off. Any type of yarn work, Clovis? Yes, pretty much any type. I used in this one scarf, this one here, I used, oh gosh, a hairy yarn. I used, try to think of the name of the other one, like just a polyester yarn. If you're going to use wool, just know that if you wash it and dry it, it's going to have a whole different look to it. So just keep that in mind. What a great way to use up leftover yarn. Yeah, I agree. A scarf will be great. Well, I'll let you know how it works, but at least I'll have something green that you can see that I wear on St. Patrick's Day. I have to prep for that because you know what's going to happen. I'm probably going to lose my power this weekend. Have you even seen the weather forecast? Holy moly. We are, even my husband came in and he said, Ange, he said, this is crazy. Okay, now I'll screw it up. It was like 37 knot winds because we always look at the forecast on the water because our whole life is usually on the water, and the water is half a mile from my she shed. So it's going to blow like crazy. It's going to be freezing rain, and it's going to snow. So I'm trying to get everything finished that has anything to do electronical finished today. So if you're in the Fashion Sewing Club and I don't post more videos this weekend, you'll just know that I didn't have any power sitting by a fire. Okay, Marty says, I have another project to attempt. I wish you didn't make it look so easy. Is your overlaying 2 embroidery pieces together the same as what you just did? Is your overlaying 2 embroidery pieces? I don't get that. I'm not thinking the same as you are on that one, so I don't know. Vicky says she gave away her 4-ply worsted weight. I love yarn. I have a whole stash downstairs. Maybe one of these days I'll start. Oh no, Melody. She said it's official. She has to get another Angela notebook. Well, that's okay. It's 2019 and it's the launch of Fashion Sewing Club, which you're in. So there you go. A great reason to start fresh. Hello from Florida. We got Florida, Michigan. Okay, so spell check. Please show the finished project. Oh, I will, Luanda. Okay, let's see if I can show you the finished project on the other page, just so you have an idea of what it looks like. Hold on a second. So, spell check. Don't let me lose that thought, because I'm telling you, I laughed so hard today. So that's the finished project. I don't know if I have a picture of the pink one. This is on my blog, by the way. This is totally free, this old one. This is Fashion Sewing with Angela Wolf. So that's what the finished piece looked like. And when I'm finished with this one, I will definitely show it. Okay, so on to spell check. Let me see if I can find this post, because I was going to show some of the fun stuff you guys have been working on anyways. I know some of you read this morning because one of you posted on it, and I just absolutely laughed right out loud. Well, you guys give me a lot of good laughs, but this one was a really good one. Okay, so if you want to enter, this is where it was, on the contest. So if you want to enter for the contest, to enter to be in the Fashion Sewing Club, you can do that, right? And it's totally free to enter, and I'm going to draw 3 winners. So that's like pretty no-brainer. Well, somebody wrote and told me that it still said how many embroidery designs. So Susan wrote, I'm pretty sure that's not it, because we all know how many embroidery designs. So then I started reading the rest of the comments rolling up, because sometimes I'll go do this at night, but I was just reading what you guys had to say. So here was the best one of the day. And you guys can all say LOL with the laughter emoji when I tell you this. So some of you wrote like, okay, do you have to make a comment on Facebook to enter? No, because the contest, even if you're not on Facebook, you can still enter to win the Fashion Sewing Club. 1 month, and you don't have to be on Facebook for the Fashion Sewing Club. So 2 bonuses if you're not on social media. But if you leave a comment here, or when I post the photo later on Instagram, if you leave a comment there and tag your friends, you get extra entries. What I do is I just scroll through each night and type up the names and throw them in a basket. Usually I'll take a photo and cut it up. That's faster. But either way, they all go in there for extra entries. So the official entry is the one that I'm reading about right now that people are writing. So some said, I would love to win. I love to learn. I get so many ideas from everyone sharing. Great ideas. Okay, so let's see. These are new ones. I haven't read these yet. Yvette said, would love a free month with you. Number 1, learn all I can from you. And 2, you're picking a winner in my twin's birthday. Oh, hey, that's got to be lucky, Yvette. A free month would be awesome. So, oh, don't tell me she took it down, because this was funny. If you're on here, you know, oh, here we are. It's Marie. Marie wrote, she might not even know. Her spell check just kind of went over a little bit. And I know what she meant to say, but now it says, here, I'll bring this up. See if I can make this just a little bigger. Wrong page. Hold on. Can you see that? Anything I can learn to make me a better sexist, I'm all in. I just, oh my gosh, isn't that hilarious? Okay, so, and you know that, so then Barbara wrote, Marie, autocorrect. So if it wasn't autocorrect, I'm laughing even harder. So every once in a while, I mean, so leave a comment below with some of your funniest spell checks, because it'll give me something really fun to read tomorrow when I'm stuck on the couch because I'm frozen in and I can't get out because I'm going to blow away. So what is your favorite or funniest spell checks? I have a few, because on the sewing side, I'm just going to have to say that spell check, Google, Microsoft Word, they don't get it. They don't get our terminology, like arm's eye. You know, arm's eye on your pattern, try spelling that one. Silk dupioni, they get the silk part, the dupioni, not so much. Muslin fabric, that's always a difficult one. Muslin fabric, yeah. So those are my 3. And if you've ever taken a class from me in my business class for my business book, How to Start Your Home-Based Fashion Design Business, you will know right before I sent the book off to print that in the whole sections that I wrote about muslin fabric, it auto-corrected in a very not appropriate way, and it did not come out right. in a lot of chapters. So I had to do a lot of rereading, but it worked. All right, so Jen says, forgive me for jumping in. I'm not sure what the finished fabric would look like, but how do you like this in comparison to couching? Oh, great. Well, couching would be on top of fabric. This is embroidering or connecting yarn with thread. So it's going to be very airy. So I'm going to go ahead, like, as soon as we get out of here, off of here for Facebook Live, I'm going to go and embroider that. I'm probably going to do, I don't know, 3 sections. I don't want to rinse out any of the stabilizer until I know it's long enough, because if it's not, it's going to be really difficult to get that whole little piece back in there. It's easier if you just keep piecing it like this, which is why I wanted to show you. So if you just logged in, as soon as we're finished live, go back and check it out, and you'll see. Okay, you could use fabric scraps. Janice, so there was somebody I'm so glad you mentioned that. There was somebody that did a gorgeous, gorgeous vest. I forgot how many hours it was, and I don't know if she did embroidery or she sewed it, but it was a vest from here to almost the floor. And she used scraps of silk chiffon and silk charmeuse. And it was it was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm trying to think if I can't even sketch it. It was so unusual. And I remember going up to her, this was like 10 years ago. Your top is gorgeous. And she was making these for people. She was charging $500, $600 or something like that out of her fabric scraps. And I'm like, now that is inventive. And it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It was at like an ASDP conference. So if you happen to be on here right now with me, then you know who you're talking about. You had a red and black. It was red and black, 2 of my favorite colors. All right, so Lita says she saves little snips of thread when sewing. You have a big bag. Well, there you go. Oh, that would be good on a yoke. Okay. Are you bringing patterns to Atlanta? Janet, I am. But Janet, and those of you that are in the Fashion Sewing Club, you know you have the discounts went up. So you have a pretty good discount to patterns. So what I would suggest is if you want anything in Atlanta, you could pre-order and from the website, and I will refund your shipping cost and just bring it with me if there's room in the suitcase. Or another option is they're in the booth there. Oh yeah, I think they can take discounts in the booth. Now, in case you missed that, Janet, I'm only coming on Friday. And actually, while I'm on here with you guys, I can tell you the final answer on that, because I think I just saw an email from the show. And okay, so I'm just going to be there on Friday, no Thursday. So if that helps you. So you guys, if you're coming on Saturday, I'm sorry that I had to cancel on Saturday, but life happens. Okay, Melody says, new club, new book. Oh gosh, Vicki says, our power is expected to go out too. Winds have been down to 50 miles an hour. What's higher than 60? Oh, yikes, Arola. Yep, Jen, more texture than couching. You got it. And Leslie, that's ridiculous. High 70s. Gorgeous. All right, you guys. So I have a few more things to show you, and then I'll get out of here. I just want to say hi on Friday, but I have some of your outfits. Let's see. Where are they? They're in the group. I got to make sure I open the right page. Where is it? Here, I think this is it. Here we go. Okay, because Angela Norris posted a ruche tee, which I loved. Check this out. So a very neutral color. I think she said she added 4 inches on this one. She lengthened it 4 inches. She's going to take more pictures later, but her thing was that she used the serger today, and she said it was so much faster than the zigzag on her Dream Machine too. I would agree, but great color. What a great staple. I like that longer style. That'd be very cute with leggings. So that's the Rachel twin set, in case you missed that. I know, I love it. And you did a great job on the lettuce edge. Okay, there was one more here. some of these we already looked at. Okay, so this, Mary started with my pattern, and then she added a different collar, but that started with the ruche tee, I believe. And I got to say, I had to do a double take because she said she nailed the side seams with the stripes. And I was thinking, yeah. And then I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a seam right there. On that right-hand side where my mouse is going up and down. Mary, you definitely nailed it with the stripes. Oh my gosh. That is perfectionism. Holy cow. So I had to point that out. Oh, and then let's see. Angela posted this and wanted to know, could the Evelyn be pattern hacked into this? Totally could. But I love this jacket, and I have to tell you, I have those boots. I have them in black, though. They're so cute. I don't wear them very often because they're not the most comfortable, but I do wear them to dinner and stuff like that. But I love this jacket, so I will get on it. I will get on the pattern hack on that. And guess what's there? Lace. Lots of lace, and that actually looks like my new design's coming out. I saw some of you asked, when are the designs? I think they're shipping March 15th, and as soon as I get the final cover of it, then I will post pre-sales for you. But I mean, like where you can order in advance, but I haven't gotten that yet. So all of it, I'm learning as I go, but I'm not doing all this. This is Dime that takes care of all the back end. I would, oh my gosh, if I did it, we'd never have it. All right, and one more thing today. Joe posted this. By the way, she's gorgeous. This is Daniela, who is the women's costume designer for Dancing with the Stars. So those of you that are coming to the fashion show in Puyallup on next Friday, yes, snow or no snow, Friday night, the VIP tickets have been sold out a long time ago. And Joan did capture, she emailed back immediately that she was so excited to win that one. So she's getting the new tickets for that. But anyway, she's bringing a couple outfits from Dancing with the Stars. And Joe's going to be there. So the fashion show is going to be broken into 3 sections. One, commentary with some of my outfits giving you inspiration for embroidery. Oh gosh, everything. And then we're going to have a little break with the Q&A for Joe, myself, and the audience can ask questions, and Daniela. And then after that, we're going to see a few, well, during that, we'll see some of her pieces from Dancing with the Stars. The models are going to be very busy. And then the last part are going to be my couture gowns that go down at the end. And I did get the dress from Brother, so it's shipping right now. So you can see the grand finale dress that you guys have seen all over the Luminaire. Is that you, Win?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Win.
Hi.
I had to check. You know how he always leaves the key in the door. Might have a visitor I didn't want, right? Okay, so let me just, you guys, Melody says that's the best spell check ever. I know, so do you guys have any good ones? Because you have to leave your best spell checks because it'll give me something to laugh about. Leslie says she's a top commentator rather than top fan. Anyone know the difference? I don't, but I have to laugh because this is a Facebook thing where they pick top fans, top communicator, top conversation starter. Some of you have coffee cups next to your name. It's hilarious how they choose these. But anyways, whatever you're doing is good, right? If Facebook's recognizing you for something, you're a valued commentator. Perfect. By the way, Marcella said she's hello from Children's Hospital in Houston, Texas. Her daughter's in labor with her second grandbaby. How exciting. Well, congratulations. Whenever I hear somebody's in the hospital, it's like, oh, but new babies, that's awesome. Hey, Chris, haven't seen you in ages. Chris Held is in the house today. Or maybe you've been on here, I just didn't see you. So great to see you. Michelle is in. So you guys all ended up popping in. It's so great to see you at the end of the day. Rebecca, thank you. It is Monday. Mary says, thanks for the compliments on the stripes. Well, I can tell you're fussy because it was perfect. Liz said she's outside Joanne's waiting to go in. Oh, you're waiting to go get the scarf project. Well, then I better be quiet. All right, you guys. Well, have a wonderful day. I'll go back and read your comments. I'm going to go try to troubleshoot this real quick because I'm sure it's something simple. But I'm going to go see what's going on. And I will send you guys link. Joey wants to know, is the Sewing Club a different website? Yes, it's academy.angelawolf.com, which, by the way, is down right now for whatever reason. But I'll go figure it out. I'll have to call GoDaddy and tell them to get on it. So you guys have a great weekend. I will pop back in. I will get this fixed right away and leave a note that it's up so you don't waste your time trying to log in. I have no idea. Maybe the power already went out. All right, you guys, have a good weekend, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye.